Welcome back to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. On this week's episode, Aubrey and I are going to look back, since this is episode 100 or 101 if you want to sit there and listen to me and not Aubrey, but we'll call it 100 because that's what Aubrey wants to call it. So we'll go ahead and, but we're going to take a look back at kind of everything that's going on with us and like what we've done over the last 100 episodes and such. So we'll go ahead and jump on into it. As always, well, as sometimes, joined by Aubrey. How we doing, Aubrey?
Wow, yeah. No. Dear listeners, we're starting off episode 100, not 101, because that's the number that Todd's going to put on it, because that's the numbers he's using. I didn't do that. He did that. By pointing out that this is the second time we're recording this, because in true podcast acclaim, I'm having weird internet issues to the point where I had to buy a new Wi-Fi extender for my house, and it still was giving us grief this morning. So I feel like it's only appropriate that we're starting off the second recording of episode 100, because the other one was messed up by this, with more technical difficulties. Come on, Todd.
Yeah, no, it was like, and I tried to give it a run on the last episode, like the last recording, but there was like 10 different recordings because you kept on dropping from your internet. So I'm like, no, I just couldn't piecemeal it all together and finding everything that like fit together. So no, it just was not working for me at all. So I'm like, you know what, forget it. We'll just start over.
And it gets better this morning, despite my phone saying that it was connected to the internet, and the Wi-Fi box saying it's connected to the internet, and everything else in the house able to connect to the internet. My laptop would not connect to the internet. It was super great, super fun. That was fun. Yeah, Todd had fun waiting and more waiting while I was screaming into the void over here.
Yeah, I think we were supposed to be on starting like right about 45 minutes ago, so we got there eventually. Yeah, we eventually got there.
Yeah. So hello everyone. Welcome to Momentous Struggle, the most professional of podcasts who never have technical difficulties ever, right?
Something like that. But yeah, no, I mean, so I guess kind of jumping into like everything, like what have you been up to lately? I think you actually, for a change, got a couple of games in and everything like that. So how's your games been lately? How are your journey in Shatterpointing?
So I have to apologize to Liam. Again, we recorded this episode a week ago, and I'm sure I told an interesting story about our league game. But he and I had a pretty epic league game, of which the details have now fallen out of the ADHD baby's head. But it was Republic versus Mandos, and I was playing the new Ahsoka, which, sadly, I don't have much to say about Ahsoka because she went really late in, like, I think all of my order decks, and like basically didn't get to do very, like, I think one of my activations, like, in order to score out, I had to just like run her across the table, which of course it's Ahsoka. She's got a double jump, like, it worked. But it was not the flashy, exciting play. Like, I think I finally got to wound his Kit Fisto at the, like, very end of the game, where the force refresh didn't really matter because he was kicking my teeth in so solidly that it just did not help things. Which, by the way, Kit Fisto is terrifying. That little fish man was all the way in my back deployment very, very quickly, just swinging at armorer. Like, I hadn't even gotten to, like, I think I had moved her with Bo-Katan or something, and like, Kit Fisto was like, hello there, I'm the better Obi-Wan, apparently.
Yeah, Kit Fisto, I mean, I think he's the new one that everyone's going to have to put some reps on and everything along those lines. So So you're one of the many people that just happen to be playing the Mandalorians. Is that what's going on? Or you're part of the entire crew of people that? So just so everyone knows, like, we're running a league in Arizona, and because of how large Phoenix is, it's divided into two separate divisions: the East Valley and the West Valley. Well, in our side, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 out of the 12 players that are in the in the east or in the west region are all playing Mandalorians, and then I don't know about the west. I think or the east. I think the east is a little more balanced as far as all of that goes. Yeah, I don't see as many Mandalorians over on that side, which is good. Good man. Like my two games, like I've been bringing like just fun casual lists, so to speak, and like not the hyper competitive stuff. And I've played into Mandos both times now, and it's just like okay, it is what it is. I mean, like I'm not. So that's been one of the interesting things is just like is Mandos after Mandos, and the funny thing is, like with Mandos, it's easy to get the first struggle with them because they got to get their ball rolling and everything along those lines. So I've lost like both games. I've won the first struggle and then lost the second and third just because it's like, okay, well, wounding doesn't do anything or anything along those lines, especially with the casual units or casual lists and stuff like that. Because like I played Obi Hunter, which I guess is not as casual in my last game, but I think with that game, the worst like there was two things that happened. One, I didn't have Obi-Wan until the very last deck or the very last card in the order deck.
Oh
So
no! You
yeah,
want
so
to
I didn't get
reserve him, and
exactly. You don't get anything. You don't get to utilize him fully when that happens. And then basically it was like that was probably the last activation of Struggle 2. So it was basically kind of like, well, I can position him and hope that I'm on the right point type of a thing. And basically I wasn't on the right point there. Like basically I didn't get him in a pretty decent area. And then the second was I had to rotate Crosshair on one side of the board to the other side of the board during an attack in order to take the priority point. But by doing that, I didn't have anybody on like the left side of the board, and again didn't get Obi-Wan early enough to sit there and get back on the point, which was basically kind of what cost me the game was because he had like multiple Mando triggers because of Crosshair doing Crosshair things. Because Crosshair, both times I activated Crosshair got 4 wounds basically in the entire game because he was able to ping someone for 1 damage to sit there and wound, and then he was able to sit there and do his Crosshair thing and wound another like secondary or support unit. So because of everything that Crosshair was able to do, Mando was able to like sit there and cross the board to where the point that I like right into the point where I just left, which basically kind of put me in a bad spot. So it's interesting. A couple of like just I wouldn't say positioning errors, but I think like the not being able to rotate back when I rotated Crosshair over across the board, and then Obi-Wan coming back. Not to say that my opponent wasn't great; he played very well and took advantages of those little missteps that I had for sure. But it was, I mean, fun games, but. Yeah, I hope my next round is not against Mandalorians because I'm kind of over Mandalorians right now. Because there's so, but I don't like the odds are against me when it comes to that because there's just so many people playing Mandalorians.
yeah, I don't know exactly uh what happened because like that's kind of weird that there's that many Mandalorians because like I know we were talking at Adepticon that somewhat like the tables kind of contributed a little bit to maybe how exactly how well not saying Mandos are bad but like Mandos are generally really good when they're able to get onto points that are difficult for non jetpacky people to get on, and so it's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why so many people are playing Mando. Like okay, I'll be honest with you. Do you want to know why I like playing Mandos? Because it's really hard to mess their stuff up.
Yeah.
like specters, like, and don't get me wrong, I still love specters, but there are games where, especially if like you're playing a unit like Hera, or even just figuring out what to do with like all of the options that PLC or Kanan give you, like it can almost be overwhelming because you have so many directions you could go or what you could do, or do you need to worry about this like where Ezra's being so that you can get off his helping hand, and like it can be a lot. And then like Republic, I mean not the Jedi one, but like with the clones, you're keeping track of like, all right, where is this positioning for this coordinated fire and that coordinated fire, and did I remember Hunter's trigger to move him up across the board, and like Mandos are great. The only thing you have to remember is if you have the Mando trigger, like
Yeah,
did it, like that's all you. Otherwise, are they within two of each other? Great. Are you gonna jump halfway across the board? Yes. Are you gonna push somebody? Yes. Like,
right.
oh no, it got really complicated. It's like so like that's my and I'm not trying to say oh like Mandalorians are the kiddie version, but it's just nice to like all I have to worry about is did I get Bo's bubble in effect? Did I like if you're playing Paz Vizsla, like, oh, did they attack Paz or somebody immediately next to Paz? Like it works a lot better for how like a game of Shatterpoint for me is so long to focus on one thing. I know it sounds silly, everyone, but hey, whatever. And so I like the Mandos because my brain goes, hey, this is the way. Shoot, shoot, push, push, jump, jump. And that's what you do with every single Mando. Like their gameplay doesn't change. So I don't know
Yeah.
what everybody else is doing, but that's why I like them. And the armor hits like a truck. I mean,
Yeah.
that
No, it's
helps.
funny. Actually, like now that I take you into account, you make 7 for our 12-person league that is running Mandalorians. You're just not running the armor with it. Or not the armor. You weren't running the Mandalorian with them. You were running, it looks like, Fulcrum. So yeah. So, but still, it's funny, man. Like they're like everyone's just running just Mandalorians everywhere type of a thing. So pretty funny stuff.
Yeah. So the, I mean, the only thing I could say is that, I mean, it is one of those things where if you have the core set, basically all you have to do is go buy the armor box and you have yourself a set, a squad of Mandos. So it's probably
Mhm.
appealing. Because don't we have a couple of newer players in the league, right?
Yeah, yeah, there that and that's part of it too. I think is that we have multiple new players that are, well, one of them is playing looks like Grievous and Asajj, which is cool. But like
Oh,
the person that I played this week, they're probably about 5 games in. I mean, granted, they've been playing miniature games for a while. They like
yeah.
I was talking with him afterwards. He plays like Warhammer Fantasy, so he has a good background in playing the game and everything like that. He did not miss his Mandalorian triggers, but forgot about him, and I reminded him of his Mando triggers a couple times, which basically like in a tournament might have forgotten those, and that might have impacted like a game. Like definitely would have impacted like Struggle 3 because he missed it a second time, and which
Ah,
would have not put him in position to sit there and flip the point that I had rotated out of, if he had forgotten that. So that's one of those where I mean, but that's one of those you don't normally expect to have 2 Mando triggers in one activation. So
oh yeah, no, I had back to back Mandos because I mean I'll talk about it in a sec. There was a tournament over at Imperial Outpost, and because it was really cool. I do want to talk about it, but I had that situation where I had like back to back wounds in one of my games, and like I did the first Mando, and then I'm like la di da di da, and then I get to my turn, and I was like, oh wait, I had another one. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna move Mando again because I think I had locked down a point with the first trigger. But yeah, it could be tough when you have like immediate sequence. I mean, this one's extra silly because you had like two in activation, but still, yeah, it can be tough to remember it sometimes when they're
right.
right on top of each other.
No, I guess that. Let's see. So yeah, so you said you played. There was a like a charity event that you had the at Imperial Outpost that would happen to you yesterday. What was that like? How was that for you?
Oh, okay. So this was super fun. It was for Extra Life, and I believe they said, correct me if I'm, I mean, don't correct me if I'm wrong, not you, Todd, but any mistakes are on the part of Aubrey and his ADHD baby that rattles around in his skull. But I'm pretty sure all the proceeds were going to the children's hospital that's really close
That's
there
what I remember
nearby.
here. Yeah.
Imperial Outpost, and so and we ended up spoilers at the end of the day. We raised about $2,000 between all of the games because it wasn't just like we just had like an 8-person event because there was a lot of games going on. They had Frostgrave going, BattleTech, uh, probably 40K something, some Games Workshop thing that was behind me that I never saw because it was behind me. and like a couple other games, like two or three other games that were all going on. Like there was a lot of game. That room was full of people. It was starting to get a little warm. I don't think I've ever been in there with like literally every conceivable space and the store and the paint area was all full of people all day long because everybody was buying raffle tickets and oh yeah, the raffle tickets. Okay, so back to Shatterpoint, not just the event. So the way it worked is we could buy raffle tickets, and then we could use the raffle tickets for a variety of effects in the game. And predictably, Liam ran into the same problem that we've run into with Frenemies. All the nerds were trying to break his rules, as they do, because like he had some rules like basically you could spend a couple of tickets and give a unit payday, or give a force user one of the force push pull repulse abilities for some tickets. You could and a lot of these were once per game, like you didn't do it the whole time, or like the case you could give protection or steadfast or both to a unit like until its next activation. In fact, I feel bad. In my round 3, my opponent did that to Django. Like he's like, I'm spending 4 tickets. I'm giving him protection, steadfast. He's in the middle. It's Django. Let's go. And then I flipped over to the Mandalorian and went Clan of 2. Bye, Django. Off the building.
Nice.
You know, but I mean, I will say, and this is kind of because I brought Mandos, so I was playing like oops all Mandos, so Armor Mando and you know, Bo Clancrease and
Paz and the
the
coverts.
armor, but yeah, Paz and the coverts, and then because it was 3 mirror, I brought Maul and like his whole squad. So, but that, well, I'll talk about that in a sec. My round one was terrible. But the ticket system, like we mostly just used it for rerolls and refreshing force. Like, cause you could and that got dangerous. And I was trying to be conservative, and that's what cost me like round 1 basically, is cause you could do, most of the things were once per game, but the rerolls, you could do 1 to 3 every single dice roll. And so that's mostly what people were spending tickets on. Let me get some rerolls. Let me get some reroll. You know what? You get a callus, and you get a callus, and everybody gets a callus. So.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the point of it, though. It was for charity. I mean that's a way to get people to just spend tickets like crazy. I mean, you could probably spend $20 a game just re-rolling dice at $1 a ticket. So I mean that's kind of the point of it. The whole thing is to do that. So it makes sense.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing that like it was cool, but I didn't get to do as much because I thought I was going to get to payday a scoundrel and then give them force user and then force push, and that's what I was planning on spending all of my tickets on. And then Liam was like, no, it has to be printed on the card. And I'm like, your document didn't say that, Liam. I just wanted to give Mando's force powers. But whatever, Liam. Okay. Like I was gonna drop like 5 tickets a game just getting to force push somebody, because there was some other cool stuff like if a bounty hunter wounded a scoundrel or a mercenary, you could get like a bonus effect. So bottom line, it was a lot of fun. It was for charity. We got to do some cool stuff. Some highlights from my game. Round 1, Todd. I know we're not supposed to complain about dice, but I made no mistakes in that game other than on my very first attack. He went first, and this was Silver Lining, I think was his name, Silver Lining. So yeah, and this is like his 3rd game of Shatterpoint. Now, mind you, he's I think he said he played 40K, so like he's an experienced tabletop player. Nobody made any positioning mistakes, but he had moved Republic commandos, not Rebel commandos, not ISB, Republic commandos on to 2 points for his first turn. I rip Super Commandos, and I'm like, Super Commandos could wound them. So I move a Super Commando onto each point. I roll dice. I roll like 5 fails. I'm like, okay, well, that's what the raffle tickets are for. Let me re-roll. I go to my and I still only get like I get like another fail or like an expertise or whatever. So like I only do like 3 damage. I'm like, okay, that's fine. They're Republic Commandos. Let me attack the other one. I just need to do. I mean, they have protection, right? So like I got to do 4 damage. But I'm like, all right, I got this. All right, roll. 6 fails, 2 crits. And I had a budget for the day, and I'm like, I can't drop 6 tickets on my first attack of the first round. Are you kidding me? And I
It's
was
for
like,
charity. Of course you could.
which is what everyone else said, Todd. But I was like, you know what? I've got 2 bodies on each of those points. My next activation will go fine. Whatever. I didn't flip those points. It did not go fine. That situation basically encapsulates how the whole rest of the game went. I never took those points back. I never got a single and this is with rerolls. After that disastrous event, I was like, fine, rerolls, reroll. No, even with the rerolls, I was probably the fastest game of Shatterpoint I've ever played, and I don't mean it in a fun way. I mean, he just steamrolls me on the struggle one, and I was like, well, no, it's okay. I'm like, it's all right. And like, we're talking about the missions, because again, this is like his 3rd game. It's because he's like trying to figure out like what even mission he would be on, because he was playing Plo Obi, he was playing all Republic, and and that's what I mean. I don't mean like Cam Vader, because that was his other list. He was just playing Obi Plo Koon, like the fun list, and I got steamrolled. And I don't mean like he played bad or anything. It was just like, I've never seen Dice do these things, and I don't want to complain about Dice, but it's not like I positioned badly or did anything wrong. I did the splitting, I did the things. We were on shifting priorities. I know how to play Mandos on shifting priorities, but I lost Struggle 2 on shifting priorities, because every time I touched the dice, because Purist of Christopher's was next to me, I was like, where's your cursed dice? Did you swap them out? Because I swear to you, every single attack I did, I ended up with 4 wounds, but I honestly think that was just all chip damage over the course of 2 struggles. I never got above like 2 successes, I think, like the entire game, except for like, I don't know, probably an armor attack because she exposes people. But like,
That's funny.
It was horrible. Like, I literally, if this had been a Magic tournament, I might have set my deck on fire or something crazy from the salty days of Magic, because like I just sat there and I'm like, I did nothing wrong. Unless you count me not wanting to spend all of my tickets on one game.
Makes sense.
But then like the rest of it went well. I played my second round was against the like, and I know, sorry dear listeners, the people who haven't been to Imperial Outpost, this might not help you, but like the car shop, that like the toy car shop that's like right next door to
it's
IO.
a slot car racing store. Yeah.
Slot car racing, yeah, that thing. So the owner actually came and was playing Shatterpoint with us, which was actually super funny, because like he had one employee over there, and they like came over to ask him a question. Then they're like calling. It's like we kind of had this funny game where we're like kind of chatting, and he's like doing his stuff, and so we ended up going to time, unfortunately, and so I won it on tiebreakers, because it was just kind of a. We had kind of a slower game, and he clearly didn't have like a lot of games under his belt like I was hoping, because he was playing he had a very spicy list though. He had Maul's squad again, exact same as mine, but I didn't play Maul again because Maul did nothing in my game. Oh, it was awful. I played Mando and Armor the rest of the day, and then he had them paired with the CT box with Crosshairs box, and that was really interesting, because he kind of like just played it as like 2 lanes. Like they never really met up with each other. He just kept everybody on this side of the board, kept everybody on that side for all the synergies, and we had some good back and forth. But I was able to win struggle 1, and then like again, it was kind of a slower game, so we didn't even finish struggle 2, like because we went into mission critical and then time, just because there was some distractions, and then. The third round, I played against let's see, Chrono Ranger. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Which that game, like, yes, I won, but I feel like he got my luck from round 1 in our game because there were like. Because he was playing Dooku Grievous. It was super cool. Like it was like super interesting to play against. Like it had been a while since I played against Separatists, so I was like, wait, all right, Intercede and Bodyguard, okay, all right, what does Dooku's Revenge trigger care about? What? Okay, I just moved Clan Kreese as my first turn activation, and you just pulled Grievous. Okay, bye, Mandos, bye. But seriously, so 2 things happened in our game. 1, 4 or 5 times, he should have gotten, statistically on average, he needed like 2 results on his attacks. And every time he got like 1. Like, and that happened 4 or 5 times. And I'm like, oh, no, not like this. I know what this felt like. This happened to me round 1. And then at the same time, a lot of those attacks were into Mando just like trying to displace him or whatever. 4 times, only once with me doing the rerolls. 4 times, I got 4 expertise on a 6 dice defense roll and got the reposition. So that, and again, he was just trying to push Mando off of something, right? So I'm like,
move Mando back, yeah.
And we counted. I got 4 expertise 4 times over the course of our game. I'm sorry. After like the second time, I was like, I know what you're trying to do. You're just trying to shove him off of the point. Like, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. So yes, I don't know if I won that or his dice won that for me, or I don't know, my dice. I guess it was my dice too. Like, we just had a lot of swingy games, but you know what? It was for charity. We were all rolling extra dice. Like he actually in his game, you could tell he was getting ready. Like he went to Liam and he's like, I need more tickets. Because he's like, I am done with this. So that was even with like re-rolls. He still was like just not getting what he needed. So, you know, sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the anvil and sometimes you're the coyote getting the anvil dropped on you. So
yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, I mean, it sounds like it was an overall great event, though. I mean, and like I said, when getting over $2,000 for charity is a pretty good deal. So that's awesome. That it seems like everything went really well with that. But yeah, no, I mean, so I guess kind of jumping into what we were going to talk about with like kind of looking back. I guess we were kind of like looking back at all of the episodes. I mean, I think I started this podcast kind of solo back in 2 years ago now, just over 2 years ago. It was March of 2023. Kind of ran a couple of solo podcasts to start with, and then brought in some guests, and then you came on probably, I think, like 10 or 15 episodes in, type of a thing. I mean, looking back on it, I mean, it was like, what was your experience kind of like just jumping into the podcast and everything?
So I'm happy to say that because of my work, I did have some experience with like recording and videos and streaming and all of that because of the pandemic. And so a lot of my job for a while was doing like story times and other events at the library online. And so like I had a little bit of experience with this sort of setup, which I'm thankful for, because let me tell you, the first time I recorded a story time on camera, it was awful. It was terrible. I don't know what it was about adding the camera. I do events in front of people. I've spoken in front of crowds of like 100+ people. I've no problem with public speaking, but apparently once you stick a camera on me and say you're recording, I turn into a not fun thing. So so like that was nice to have that experience already. But then I also know nothing about tabletop gaming, so and you kind of dragged me down that rabbit hole, so that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah, I mean that was different. I mean, like kind of like but I mean, I think it kind of brought a unique aspect. I think to the podcast was like because a lot of people like either played or like come into this game that came from 40K or MCP, but there are a lot of people that never played a Shatterpoint game or any type of miniatures game. They just knew Star Wars, or maybe they saw X-wing. They played maybe like bought the starter pack and then realized, oh, you mean I have to sit there and buy like 7 other ships before I can sit there and really play a full game, and maybe didn't dive into the game from there, or only played like the learn to play game out of the starter box. So I mean, there was a little bit of that I think going on too with just like newer players and everything along those lines. So I think that kind of like, I mean, for especially for what we're doing as far as the podcast is concerned, I mean, like not being the hyper competitive aspect of it, and more kind of talking about the community building and like and everything. I think that brought a better aspect to like the to what we were trying to do anyway.
Yeah, yeah, and for those of you who weren't here for the early days, this was because I was getting away from Magic the Gathering. I was just getting burnt out on the too many releases and the too much power creep, and they like it felt like Wizards of the Coast was reaching directly into my wallet and going, "But don't you have a little more?" Uh,
There was a lot of that. I mean, that's one of the nice things. I mean, when you look at like any type of, well, this in particular, I mean, like when you look at like other games, like especially like the larger, like let's say 40K, there's always a new book that comes out, and there's always a new model that comes out. I mean, in this game, I mean, like you said, you played Separatists. You could sit there and still play something that came out in release like almost 2 years ago, that and play the game, and still have fun playing the game. Where you look at like stuff from like 40K, it's like, okay, well, a points update happened and like half of your army is unplayable now, if you want to play in an event. And so there's that's one of the things I think I like about this game, even like and Atomic Mass games in general, is like the models are somewhat evergreen, where they're always able to be played, and everything along those lines. You don't have this shift of like something is unplayable now, even when I know that they tone things down. Like, so for example, we know that there's an update coming. They're going to be toning down probably Iden and some of the more powerful things. They're not going to be unplayable. They're just not going to be completely busted like they were before. I mean, and that's one of the things where it's like, I think people are going to like probably stop playing those as much, especially the ones that are more competitive. They're probably going to like lean away from playing those particular models. And I think that's kind of, but that's again, one of the things I like about this game is they make you're able to play everything and have a good time playing everything for sure.
Oh, yeah. And as I like to point out to people, I know this isn't really true anymore now that now that we're in the second year and we have more releases, but when Shatterpoint first came out, I was like buying up everything, and I wasn't even necessarily that interested in it at all. And everybody was like, "Well, are you gonna play that?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe. Like, I want to try stuff, and like like it might be fun to paint at least. I don't know." And they're like, "Well, it's expensive," and I'm like, I could buy every single release that Shatterpoint has right now, and it still costs less than one of my Magic decks."
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the amount of money that you would spend on Magic. I mean, like, you just thinking about that. I mean, like, every time a set comes out, you're usually buying 1 to 2 boxes, and that's like $200. Then, like, and I think even more now. Plus, you're playing Friday Night Magic. Then you're like, okay, I didn't get the stuff I needed. Now I need to buy the singles. And oh, by the way, the singles that you need for your deck are probably going to cost like $40 a piece. So it's like, I mean, there's yes, it's expensive, but you're buying a model that, once you have it, and you get to play it forever. And there's, like I said, there's people that are playing like in the tournament or in the league, are playing Asajj and Grievous. It's like they're still playable. Not the best thing to do in the game, but they're still playable. So that's, I think, something that we need to, I guess, like, keep in mind is when it comes to like pricing of games and stuff like that, is there are far worse things you could be doing than like buying every model. I would say I still don't even have every model in the game, because of just like what I like to play and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, looking back, kind of like, it's just wild, kind of like looking back at like all of the episodes and kind of what we've done. As far as like episodes wise, did you have a favorite one that you enjoyed doing? Is there one that stuck out to you?
Oh, come on, Todd. You let me drive the bus, remember?
Yeah, I
Remember
figured it was going to be the ominous one.
Yeah, before I even met Omnis, we jumped on and did that episode together, and yeah, that was so much fun. Yeah, we're gonna have to do we. I wanted to try and have some of the guys on for this one, but it, like, just scheduling was too much. So we'll have them on again. We'll have them on again. But yeah, that was mine. But hey, come on, Todd. We gotta hear your part of the story. You were doing this solo for a while. Like, didn't you brought on
Taylor from Professional Casual,
yeah.
yeah. Like, so the reason for that was like Taylor. He's the admin for the fan Discord for Shatterpoint. So I don't think he's I don't think he's for the AMG one, but I know for sure he's the admin there. So he's been involved with that for a long time. When they did the not launch, but they did like a play, like a demo launch at Adepticon 2 years ago, and he got to do that. So he was one of the people that actually got to get like one live with like some of the people from AMG, like Pagani and Schick, and all of them were out there doing those live demos. So he was out there and did a demo, I think, with Schick, and he came on and got to talk about like the game and everything like that, and kind of like some of the first, kind of like we're breaking down the rules and some of the other stuff. So that was kind of a fun one. I think that was, that's the funny thing is, like, that's kind of what led to where we are. So by forming the relationship that I did with Taylor, I got to know Tim from Professional Casual even better. He had me on to sit there and like call a match with him at LVO, which led to us basically doing Adepticon for the last 2 years. So it's kind of like interesting, just kind of how like all of that kind of like one thing led to another with all of that, and just kind of the friendships and the I guess the friendships that you make kind of throughout the entire time is really cool. Like meeting, like getting to like really know Tim and Taylor and all those guys at PCN, Dan and Danny and all of them, was really cool. So I think that's kind of like, what the, I think the most exciting stuff for me. I don't know if I really had like a favorite episode. I know I really enjoyed doing the episode, the last one we did with, or I did with Chris, when I interviewed Chris from Adepticon and talking about, his journey in Adepticon and everything like that. That was kind of fun, and like how he kind of, where he got to where he is and how he got there. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I think I've just, the overall just journey of doing the podcast, especially because I've never done one. It was just more one of those things where I'm like, I like the game. I kind of want to talk about it and start this podcast and see what happens. Like, I was supposed to actually start the podcast up with my niece's boyfriend, and then he kind of just flaked out on me. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm still going to do it anyway. I don't care. I'll just do it anyway. So I did. And, here we are, 2 years later, 100+ episodes in, and we're keep on going. I say 100+ because even if this is only 100, we've recorded like at least 2 or 3 episodes that just never made it out there because of how much we've sat there and like internet issues or something like that. So
Yes, yeah. Hey, we're talking officially. Official. If
officially,
Darth
I've released 101 episodes. Like, there's been 101 releases after this one, well, including this one. If you want to be official, Aubrey.
No. What number is going on this episode now?
I could just bump it up to 101 just so you can sit there,
he beat me to it, dear listeners. I was like, you know what's gonna happen now? Todd's not even gonna release an episode 100. He's gonna go from 99 to 101, and just to spite me. It's fine. It's fine.
It's possible. It's entirely possible.
Yes. So I mean that. So I didn't even know that detail. I didn't know somebody had flaked out on you. That's it. Because I was wondering if I was like, man, doing a podcast solo is tough because, like, just to go back to my days of story time, the first few episodes I did of like story time were not very good. Like they were not like they just were not good. And I could go into the details of why, but we don't need to. So the way we solved the problem is one of my coworkers brought a puppet on the camera with me and pretend because she didn't want to be on camera. She was like, "No, I'm not doing that." I'm like, okay, I need somebody to interact with." And she's like, "I'll do a puppet." And then during the pandemic, this puppet took on a life of his own. He got a cape. He became super kitty because it was a cat puppet. And like we started developing a whole backstory to the point that at the end, I wasn't even really doing story time anymore. It turned into like a talk show between me and the puppet.
Are there videos of this that people could go and find on the internet? Because I'm quite positive people that listen to this podcast would love to sit there and find these. Do they exist in the ether?
Fortunately, they do not. They are gone. I have one somewhere probably recorded, but I don't think I'm supposed to share that. Yeah, I probably.
Oh, come on, make it a bonus episode. That'd be a great bonus episode.
But anyway, the point is that I do not know how you did so many episodes without somebody to interact with, because I mean, you and I can both talk. Don't get me wrong, and I've watched Todd. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The man has the networking skills of a god. It's not just the sultry voice. He just walks into a room and goes, "I'm the Todd," and people hand him stuff. People give him things. Like they rappel down from the rafters just to talk to him. Like
that's a slight exaggeration. That's a slight exaggeration.
Not by much, but still, to do it solo is difficult. Like I basically what I'm saying, Todd, is I appreciate being your puppet.
Oh well, okay. Does that mean I have to put my hand up your ass? I don't want to do that. I don't think that's. No.
That we save those for the bonus episodes, Todd. Those are the bonus episodes.
Fair enough. People pay for that kind of action. But yeah, so I don't know. The funny thing was like, so he was interested in the game, went and signed up for like to pre-order it. He didn't pay, of course, because like the Imperial Outpost allows you to put your name down without having to pay for it and everything along those lines. And he actually got selected for the Ahsoka Tano that you got like beforehand, and he never went and bought the stuff and never went and picked it up or anything like that. I'm like, dude, you could at least go and get the Ahsoka and sit there and sell that.
Give it
because
to you.
Or sell it. People were buying them for like $200 at the time on eBay.
No, I remember. It was crazy because I was like, well, I bet I could find one. No. Mm-mm. I was like, no. And then I feel terrible. I ended up winning one like really late, and I don't think I played with her more than like 2 or 3 times before like the official box came out, and I was like, okay, I have 2 Ahsokas now.
Right. But yeah, no, I mean, so that was interesting for sure. But no, I mean, it was interesting. Like I said, I kind of became driven to like sit there and try and do it and improve. I mean, like you're saying, like when you started with your story times, same with me with podcast, man. It was like just learning on the fly. It's like I didn't know what I was doing. I was like just, recording on OBS and just trying to sit there and figure it out and learning OBS while I'm recording. So it was interesting, kind of like the I definitely not polished in any way, shape, or form type of a thing, trying to just like figure out what to do and where to go from there. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, so like looking back at the game though, I mean, it's really cool where the game's come and like where the future of the game seems to go. I mean, looking back, I mean, it felt like it was off to a rough start with how bad Vader was just like the main point at one point in time, until people kind of discovered ways to play around him, and what revenge triggers were with like Mother and Maul, kind of to where we are now, and like how we're moving into this new future where, yes, Iden is like crazy right now, but we know that she's probably going to get toned down, and some of like the Jedi are going to get toned up, and just kind of like where the future of the game's going. I'm excited at what is going on in the game, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And I know some people were not as interested in the game because there was only one mission pack. It started in Clone Wars era, then the Vader thing happened, and I know some of the interest cooled off, but I still stand by my initial impression of the game, and I feel like it still holds true even in this era of, Iden shooting everything off the board, is that it feels like you're playing an episode of Clone Wars or Rebels,
Mm-hmm.
like still. And I know that like the cartoons aren't everybody's thing. Well, it's okay, you're wrong. And well, they're allowed to have opinions, and I'm allowed to have opinions about their opinions. Todd, it's okay.
Fair enough.
Uh, uh, and so like it really hits that like combination of cinematic appeal and like just fun gameplay and dynamic back and forth. I'm trying to remember now if it was Zion's Finest or Rogue Support. It was one of those two. Their episodes this week, but they were talking about this uh
The
more in
narrative
depth.
side of it, yeah.
Yeah, the narrative side of the gameplay, and that like just remember, yes, we're being competitive. Yes, we're playing a game to win, but like in that, like for example, in that game, my first round with Silver Lining, I'm getting my teeth kicked in handily. It was not really an enjoyable experience because I literally could not affect anything via combat. But at the end of the game, I've already lost. Like literally, this was a dead activation essentially for him. No matter what he did, he already had the priority objective. He was already going to score out. You know what we still did? He's like, you know what? We didn't get to do this the whole game because we talked about I played Maul versus his Obi. He's like, I'm gonna run
Mm.
into the center of the board and I'm gonna hello their Maul. And we did out, even though it didn't matter, we did out the whole like he hello there, he wounded my Maul, Maul cracked back, and like we recreated the whole scene from the end of Phantom Menace, and it didn't, it ended with Maul getting sliced in half and thrown down the generator room shaft. But you know what? That was probably the most fun I had in that whole game because we both got to do our thing and we got to recreate like a cool moment from this thing we love. And I was getting my butt kicked, and that's the part where I'm like, yeah, we got to do the Obi Maul fight again.
Mhm. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the joy of this game, is that there's a narrative piece to it. There's a interactive piece with opponents and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I mean like I said, pretty good stuff. Um, I'm definitely happy like where the state of the game is. I mean, it's especially and you look at like MCP and what they're doing on their side of things. You know that like that is like potentially the future for Shatterpoint, that they're going to continue to grow the game and continue to put resources in the game and find new ways to keep the game fresh. And there's a lot of new players coming into the game. I think like with our league, we have like 4 or 6 new people that are like brand new to the game jumping in, and I think now's like the a better time to do it than probably at launch. I mean, because there are a good selection of models. You have the 4 mission packs. There's more diversity to the game. There, I mean, and I get it. There, when the game first launched, there was not a lot of diversity to it. You had the core box and what, Obi-Wan and Grievous. So like there was 6 squads. There was 1 mission pack. It was kind of a slow starting. I mean, and then once Vader came out, it was like, well, everyone's just Vadering. It was like, who can Vader faster and harder? Um, so it was kind of one of those where the game was kind of stale, kind of repetitive, but it's definitely past that point, and I'm really happy that it's grown to the point that it has, for sure.
Well, and talk about community building. Here's another thing that I learned about Todd. I knew Todd as like we met each other through Magic, and like yes, we do other things, but like that was our primary activity. And then I move over to this field, and I knew he played some Marvel tabletop game. I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, whatever. Like Todd talks about his tabletop. Like I'll be honest. In our friend Discord, I had the tabletop channel muted because I was like, I don't know anything about this 40K. I don't know about this Marvel thing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And so then I come over and Todd's like running a statewide championship series with like three or four other guys. I don't know.
Yeah, there's three. There's like three. No, there's like six of us now. But yeah, like I think at the time was like, well, at the time I started it, like one person was with it, and then like he just kind of flaked out on me and never showed up again. And then I kind of just like, but now there's definitely a group of people helping for sure.
Right, but my point is, I find out not to do the wow, Todd is huge in Phoenix, but I was like, whoa, you have like this whole network and system in place with like every LGS in the state practically. Like I'm like, okay, because we started doing the tournament organizing for Shatterpoint, and Todd's like, I already have a whole system set up. Here we go, let's do this. And I was like, whoa, okay, alrighty, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing with MCP. I think there was like the like we, so the journey to get to that point was playing Marvel Crisis Protocol before Shatterpoint came out. We would go up to Las Vegas Open, and they had an invitational, like a national invitational for that. All right, yeah. So LVO, like, so basically the MCP piece of it was because of came out of a need from going to LVO. Like a bunch of us from Arizona, we would go to LVO, and like there'd be like 40 of us, but nobody would qualify for. No one was actually ever qualified for the LVO Invitational. And I found that kind of weird because we had like 40 players that would go up there, and it basically was just like, no, we weren't running any LVO qualifier or enough LVO points events type of a thing. So I kind of like took that as, well, there's a need for it, especially with the amount of players that we have going and playing in like a highly competitive event. And and I'm okay with not being, I know I'm not in that competitive state anymore, especially like those Magic days were behind me. So kind of just ran with that, kind of creating that and working with stores. So having all of that kind of background in place to sit there and put in and work into, helping to build a Shatterpoint community was really easy and nice, because it was like, oh, I can just, do all of these things and do and everything along those lines. And the stores were willing to work with me because I'd shown that that in the past I've had the past experience like running other events and stuff like that. So it worked out well, being able to do that and everything along those lines. So which was great. I mean, it was nice that that I was able to sit there and have those resources available to help build our community, because I think we have a great community out here. I mean, we have like, everybody like I think everybody who listens to like podcasts and stuff like that knows who Chris Sampson is and who Matt Booker is and everything like that. So I mean, it's definitely like we have a lot of good players. I mean, those are, I guess, more nationally known or whatever, but I mean, even like, the Raider brothers are amazing and everything along those lines. I mean, there's just Liam is, I mean, I think Liam got a shout out on a different podcast because he went he was the guy that went 4-0 at the premiere event at Adepticon with Kit Fisto. So I mean, it was just,
He assembled and painted and threw Fishman on the table. Like,
yep.
Oh my word. I don't know how he had the energy for that.
Yeah, I mean, but so it's like, I mean, we got some great players out here, and I'm really excited about like the players that we have and everything along those lines, and the community that we've built. So that's fantastic. I know, but other than that, I mean, did you have any like thoughts? I mean, I think we're kind of good to close out here. Did you have any closing or any thoughts like to finish out?
Hey, I mean, I guess the only thought I have is, and I know I said this on our Adepticon episode, but probably my favorite part of that whole trip was just getting to meet everybody and hang out afterwards, and even meet some new people, or at least connect with people. Like, again, I feel bad, everyone. I'll probably remember your Discord names before I remember your real names, but because that's how I interact with you all. I even felt bad at first. I was like, with Chrono Ranger, I know you. Because I hadn't looked at my because Liam had given us our pairings, and
Hmm.
so like I just walked over to the table and I'm like, you're familiar, and he's like yeah, he's like yeah. I'm like, oh yes, I do. I was like, I do know you.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but and I know that's kind of a me thing. Other people just remember these things. It must be nice. um but I just really like the community. I know I get on my soapbox sometime and I talk about nerds being sweaty, and I know there is a little bit of sweatiness, but it's polite sweat. It's sportsmanlike sweat, because like even at the charity event, we're at a charity event. I was walking around the ticket table looking at the prizes, and oh, spoilers. I got a drone for Perrin, everybody. Yeah, I put all my tickets like in one thing because I was like, I bet I could get this, because everybody else was putting them in like the gift certificates and the board games and stuff, and everyone knows I don't need any more board games, even though there's probably 3 or 4 in my Amazon cart right now. Uh, but like while I was walking around that, some guy was having some argument with his opponent in some other game system. I don't know what it was, and he just kept repeating the same sentence over and over, expecting that to help his opponent understand. And I'm sure he was right about whatever the ruling was. I know nothing about the game, but I finally turned around and I was like, I think it's blah 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 to his opponent, because he kept repeating it like the same sentence over and over. And he finally looked at me and looked at him, and then he changed what he was saying, because I was like, dude, he doesn't understand. I don't even know what game you're playing. I don't know what ruling you're trying to make. You have to use different words. But he was just shouting the same sentence over and over at his opponent. And you know what never happens to me in Shatterpoint?
People shouting the
That.
same words over and over again. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they might go, "Stop playing Mandos, Aubrey," but that's a different. That's a.
I'm about to shout that. I will say that. I'll stop playing Mandos. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. But no. Joke.
But
All jokes aside, no, I get that. Yeah,
yes,
that's the nice thing. I mean, like our community, I think we've like I don't know how we've been so lucky so far. I mean, but even in the MCP side, we don't have people really like that either. And I think that's like maybe just a characteristic of like the game, the company that makes the game. I think that that's not what AMG's mission really was. They didn't want the sweaty tryhards. They just wanted games that people would enjoy playing, and they want to that you enjoy playing with friends and everything like that, and having a good experience. So I think that kind of like translated from the top down, from the devs all the way down to the players. And so like that is one of the things I do enjoy, and I think that's kind of why I've always will stick by AMG in the games that they make for sure.
yeah. It was so like at my first Adepticon, I even walked in the room and I was like, huh. Because I went around all of Adepticon, I looked at all the other game systems, and like, and there's good bunches and bad bunches in every community. There's always I'm not saying I've never experienced somebody getting a little salty or a little testy in Shatterpoint, but
Mm-hmm.
it did feel like the AMG room just felt kind of cozy. And some of the other rooms you'd be like, "Oh, somebody is not happy. They're losing right now."
Yeah.
and and so like it's just nice that like I mean, we have some really good players in this community, and everybody just feels really welcoming, really, like for example, at the charity event, I found out like 2 of our 8 players were like, "Oh, I was supposed to bring a mission pack." Like it's a premiere show. They're like, I thought the store just gave us mission packs, and I was like, here's Sabotage Showdown. What were you thinking of playing? Oh, okay. Oh, you don't have a Shatterpoint card? Okay, here's my extra Shatterpoint card. Okay, let's make this let's make this work.
Yeah.
We got this. Like it's okay. And I mean that's something super basic, but like and I appreciate them because I gave out like 3 or 4 things and I was like, do I have all my stuff? I don't know if I remember everything I gave out. And
Yeah, I was
then
about
like,
to say
here's your shadow.
you remembering to get your stuff back was probably the hardest part of that entire day. Was that? Yeah, so I could see that.
Yeah. But it's just nice. It's nice. I don't know, Todd. Here's to 100 more, or 99 more. If you skipped a
99
number.
more, yeah, 99. I'm not skipping. I'm just telling you that this will be the 101st release. It's all right. I know this is driving you crazy. I think I'm going to keep going with this one because it's just a lot of fun watching you squirm over the whole entire thing. But that's fine. It's fine. So yeah. So no, to kind of close things out, I did want to sit there and shout out some of the bigger events in the United States that's happened and are in the North America. I don't really see, North America, because looking at it, I mean, we have coming up the weekend that the future weekend of when this is releasing. Richmond Open's having their GT. They have a Shatterpoint GT at the Richmond Open. Looks like 14 players out of 32 are signed up. I mean, definitely if you're in that area, you want to support that GT. I mean, the AMG does look at the numbers that tournaments get and stuff like that. So definitely, help support that and the growth of the game. If you're in the area, jump out there, go play a game. It is, May the 2nd of May. So it's going to definitely be, Star Wars weekend. Really great time to get out there and play some Shatterpoint, play some Star Wars games. Tablebound Open is this weekend. Our boys up in Canada, Kyle and Sean, doing the things that they do up there. They're sold out at 34 players, which is fantastic. That's not even a GT. I know they've actually got a GT in later on this year, but they're doing amazing things up there in Ontario. So I'm really excited for those guys and what they're doing. Here locally in Arizona, we have Primetime's doing their second annual May the 4th tournament. They have 15 players already signed up for that, which is awesome. So
Nice.
they actually expanded. Yeah, they already expanded to 20 players. So hopefully, they fill that one out. But yeah, I mean, so all these other other places. Our boy Mountain Mike up in Colorado, he's running an event up there. He's got 15 people signed up for his game at Mythic Games. So definitely support Mike. I know I saw him at Adepticon and gave him a bunch of extra prize support that I had to help give out up there. So I know he's got some cool cards from past GTs, extra GT cards that I had laying around. And stuff like that. So he's got some really great prize support to sit there and hand out for his event. So if you're in the Colorado area this weekend, definitely go and hit that up. It looks like there's a pretty decent event going up in Idaho. Black Dragon Games is having an event up there. Looks like they have 10 players signed up. So, I mean, definitely get out, play some games, help support your community. Oh yeah, there's also one in Michigan. They have 12 players signed up at Golden Rhino Games for their May the 4th tournament. So yeah, there's all sorts of great events going on. Definitely support your local game store though, and get out there and support the community for sure.
Oh yeah, and beyond that, I mean, May the 4th coming up. There's not just one. I love you nerds. There are so many May the 4th events that are happening. And going a little further afield because I also like to talk about the other podcasts. Listen to Rogue Support. Listen to Zion's Finest. Listen to Red Mandos. I could keep going. What is it? Hello there, Clan of Two. There's several podcasts, but Red Mandos are running ShireCon. That's on May the 4th. They've already got people signed up. There's another one in New Zealand. Don't forget about here locally. There's still 5 slots open over at Prime Time for the May the 3rd be with you because it's on a Saturday. May the 3rd be with you. So that's gonna be happening. So there's some cool stuff. Also, Jake. I want to know the secrets. I want to know about. There's secret prizes. He keeps teasing us.
I think is this the event? I know that he definitely had announced that one. He's got a Sam Witwer autographed picture that he's giving away at that event, if I remember correctly.
Isn't there another? I think there's another secret.
I'm sure there is. But I mean, that alone, Lord Maul himself autographed photo is pretty freaking cool. So, I mean, that's definitely some stuff, like really cool events out there. I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of great things to help build their community and definitely support your community and local community. If, like I said, there's a lot of people I know that have reached out, asked questions, like, or asked for assistance with like running events. Like I said, Mountain Mike reached out to me and asked for, if I had any extra prize support, and like I gave him almost everything I had. So like, reach out to other people and see if they have stuff that can help out with your events and stuff like that.
Yeah, that reminds me. So there was some newer players, I think, down in Australia who are looking to get connected, which I thought was funny. I had to send them the Red Bandos info, and I was like, wait, you guys are in Australia. I was like, how do you guys not know about the Red Bandos? But whatever, they're new. It's fine. So they're trying to run their first event, and then they were like, well, do you have any advice? Well, I put together a whole document. So if anybody is planning on running their first event and you're feeling like you maybe don't know or you think you're going to forget something, just send me a message in Discord. I've got a document for you now, because I threw it together and I ran it through a couple eyes. Todd looked at it, Jake looked at it. I think I got all of the
it's a good starter high level document for like starting to get your stuff going and everything like that. So definitely a good starting point for sure. So yeah, I mean, but other than that, go ahead. You guys have something else?
Nope. And one more for the West Side. I do have everybody's foils, so hopefully if you're in the league, you're listening. And if you're listening and you haven't gotten your foils yet, I'm keeping a running tally. So, because they're getting bounced around from East Side to West Side. So we had to go from Jerry to Christopher to now me. So we do have the foils if you want to get them.
I guess we can put a note on the Discords for that too. But yeah, no, I mean, other than that, I guess kind of close everything out. I just want to, as always, thank each and every one of you for listening. If you want to support the podcast, the best way to do so is become one of our patrons. I think I announced Brady last time we were on the podcast. I can't remember if that was on the one that we lost or not. So if I did, Brady's our newest member on our patron. So thank you very much, Brady, for becoming a patron. We appreciate you. You are awesome, and we appreciate all of our patrons. So all of the guys that definitely, and ladies that definitely help us keep our show running and keep us doing the things that we do. Like when we go to Adepticon, this kind of helps like cover some of those costs of the equipment and being able to do what we do. So we definitely appreciate each and every one of our patrons. If doing that and becoming a patron is not right for you, we definitely understand. You can also support us by reviewing the podcast on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, you can like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you're thinking. But other than that, as always, thank you for listening. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.